Hi everybody, we're back today. We're going to make some white bread. Everything you're going to need is somewhat on my counter. Flour, sugar, yeast, salt, milk, butter. Doesn't get much simpler than that. First thing you're going to want to do, 2 1/4 cups of whole milk, or any kind of milk, it doesn't matter, into the pan. You want to add in a tablespoon of butter. As it drips all over you. You're going to want to add a couple dashes of salt and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Just like that. And we're going to take and we're going to mix it up a little bit. Make sure all that sugar isn't stuck to the bottom of your pan. We're going to take this over to the stove. And we're going to let it warm for a few minutes. You want to get it to about 110 degrees, but you don't want it warmer than that. Because you'll end up scorching your milk. I usually put it on like a 3-4. It takes a few minutes for it to come to temperature. Also preheat your oven to 375. And while we're waiting on the milk, we're going to start with our flour. You need 2 1/4 cups of flour. You can use bread flour, you can use regular all-purpose flour. Doesn't really matter. My family prefers regular flour. We've tried the bread flour. They're not fans of it, so we usually just stick with good old regular flour. I'll put that in the bowl. And then you're going to want 2 1/4 teaspoons of active yeast. You can use the packets if you're going to use the packets. It is 1 packet per loaf of bread. Let's see if I can find the right, oh, there it is. So you want 2 1/4. You just sprinkle it over the top. 2 1/4. Like that. And if you're using jarred yeast like this, once you've opened your jarred yeast, make sure you put it back in the refrigerator so that it stays active once you've opened it. I'm going to throw this stuff away. I'm going to put some of this stuff in the sink. Get it out of our way. We're going to get us a spoon. Kind of check on this milk mixture here. You don't want your butter to be fully melted, but you do want it to be somewhat melted. It will take a few minutes, so don't get frustrated, don't get annoyed. It does take a little bit of time. This recipe is really simple, really easy. It's just a matter of figuring out how to do it to make it your own. With the price of bread these days, my family prefers that I make bread because we do go through a lot of bread. And at this point, we go through a loaf of bread in probably, I'd say 2 or 3 days for a regular loaf of bread from the grocery store. When I make loaves of bread, it lasts a little longer. Plus I can always freeze it. You know, put it in Ziploc bags and freeze it, and it stays fresh longer. So at this point, we just make our bread. It's a whole lot easier. By the way, if I haven't said, welcome to Pookie Bear's Corner. I am Pookie Bear. Alright, we are getting there with the milk. Alright, we are almost there. You don't want to get it too hot because you'll kill your yeast. But you don't want it too cold because then your yeast won't activate. If you have a thermometer, you can use a thermometer to test it. I just test it with my finger, and I can usually tell. Just little tricks and tips that, you know, I've been using since I've been baking and cooking. Alright, milk is now ready. We're going to grab that. Handle might be a little warm. If it is, use a pot holder. We're going to bring it over here to the flour and yeast mixture. And we're going to pour it right in. Just like that. You're going to get you a wooden spoon. You're going to start mixing. Mix it all in real nice. At this point, you should be able to smell the yeast as it's starting to activate in your flour. Just like that. This recipe calls for anywhere from 5 to 6 cups of flour. We've already added 2 1/4. I'm going to add another cup. Mix that in. We'll see where it goes from there. And this is one of those recipes that if you don't like to be dirty and you don't like to have stuff under your nails and to be sticky, this might be something you may not want to do. Alright, so there we're at 3. There's 4. We're going to go almost 5. And this is the fun part for me. This is the part I enjoy. You clean your spoon off. Get all those little bits and pieces off of there. And you just get in here with your fingers. And yes, I washed my hands. And you start mixing. The dough is really warm, which is the way you want it. You want to get all that goodness off the bottom till you get like a shaggy type dough like this. And once you get a shaggy dough, like I have here, you are going to take it and you are going to dump it out onto your work surface. Scrape all that out, as much of it out as you can, just like that. And you just want to work it with your hands. And if you notice it's getting really sticky, and it's sticking to your work surface, you just add a little bit more flour. Work it all in. And you're going to continue working this for 5 to 8 minutes. The more you knead it, the better it'll be. Because the more glutens will break down and it will be soft and fluffy. In the end, you are looking for a smooth consistency. You see how it's still kind of shaggy looking here? That just means that we need to knead it up some more. It does get easier to knead. This is also great for kids to try and get them to learn how to do it. And if you've got little ones, flour and water are great for little ones to play in. I remember when my youngest was probably about 18 months old, my mom and I were cooking in the kitchen, and he wanted to help, but he wasn't real consistent about staying there to help. So we set him up a little table of his own with flour and water so he could make his own like little paste. And he had a blast. He was covered from head to toe in flour by the time it was all said and done. If you have a stand mixer, you are more than welcome to do this in a stand mixer. As I've said previously, I don't own one. It is on my wish list, but I do not own one. So, we do it the old-fashioned way, by hand. Alright, it's starting to smooth out really well. Still kind of a little sticky, so we're going to add a little bit more flour to this. Just to our work surface. Basically all you're doing is folding and pushing and folding. Yeah, it does take a while. of kneading this to get it to the right consistency. But trust me, it is well worth it. My table is moving on me. Once you get it good and incorporated and kneaded out, you're going to shape it into a ball, or any shape will work. It doesn't have to be a ball. Just so it's all consolidated together. Just like that. And then you're going to get some cooking spray or some vegetable oil. I use cooking spray, but you use whatever you want. You're going to spray the inside of your bowl. You're going to put this in there, just like that. You're going to spray the top. And you're going to let it rise for half hour, 45 minutes until it doubles up in size. So once it's doubled in size, we will see you back here. See you later. Hi guys, we're back. This has doubled in size now. Looks yums. Looks really good. So all we're going to do, we're going to punch it down, just like that. We're going to get some flour out. I just filled the container and put the scooper all the way in there instead of leaving it out part of the way like I normally do. You don't need a lot. Just enough to dust your surface that you're going to be working on. Then you're going to turn this out, this dough, out into your flour, just like that. And you're going to knead it a little bit. Just get all that air out of there. From the rising process. Just like that. And you want to get a knife. We're going to cut it in half. This recipe makes 2 loaves. So you're just going to cut it in half like that. And for now, I'm just going to set this one back inside that bowl while we work on this one. You want to flatten it down. Get it as close to a rectangular shape as you can. Just like that. And then you're going to take it and you're going to roll it. Just like this. You're going to tuck your ends in as you go and keep rolling it, kind of like a burrito. So it ends up looking like that. And then you're going to get you a bread pan. I use this Baker's Joy. But you can use just regular flour or whatever. Spray it down. Take your bread. You just want to set it in there like that. And set that one aside. And do the same with the other one. You want to roll it up, tucking your ends in. Doesn't matter which way you roll it, either way works. Get it into a nice little loaf. Spray your pan out. Put that in your loaf pan. Just like that. I use the throwaway loaf pans. You can use regular ones if you'd like. This is what I have, so this is what I use. And we're going to set them aside and let them rest and rise for another 30 minutes. And then we're going to pop them in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes. But we'll come back and I will show you what we're going to do once they come to a rise. And we'll get them in the oven together. See you in a bit. Bye-bye. Hi. Alright, it has sat for 30 minutes. It is ready to go in the oven now. We're just going to take it and put it in here. Don't mind the inside of my oven. It is a hot mess. And slide these in here like this. Close her up. And we're going to let them bake for 30 to 40 minutes depending on where you're at and your altitude. Usually mine takes about between 30 and 35 minutes. So when we get ready to take them out the oven, I will see y'all again. Ta-ta for now. Alright, y'all, we're back. It's been in the oven for 35.5 minutes. Almost 40. So now we're going to take it out. See how beautiful that looks and how crusty the top looks? That's what you want. We're going to set it up on a wire rack. Close up our oven. Turn it off. A stick of butter. You can use margarine if you choose. Me personally, I like the taste of real butter. And all we're going to do is just kind of smear it and let it melt on the top. Like that. I know it doesn't look the greatest, but oh my, does it ever taste good. I like a lot of butter on mine, so I do extra. And then all we're going to do, pull them out of the pans. And then let them sit and let them cool the rest of the way. And if you want to add more butter to it, be my guest. Technically, you should wait good 30 minutes for it to cool before you slice into it. I never do, though. Ever. So, what we're going to do now, let me find a bread knife, just so we can show you all what it looks like when it's done. And that is what it looks like. And once it cools, it won't look like it's really moist on it. It's just because it's still hot that it looks moist. But that's how I do white bread. If y'all got any questions, comments, leave them down below. And until next time, we'll talk at you later. Bye-bye.